Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be able to speak with everyone today. The whole purpose of this is to actually just give everyone a bit of an investor update. I think it was about time we put another investor update out. We've been doing some work recently. We've put some ASX announcements out on some of the work we've been doing in our Victorian and West Australian projects. I also thought people might want to know where De Grey is at in terms of our Ashburton gold project deal. So without further delay, I'll start the presentation. The usual cautionary forward-looking statements, which you can read at your leisure. I just thought I'd touch on the first few slides about Kalamazoo, what we do, and our value proposition. So, what we do is what's coined a project generator model. And that's where we identify, new opportunities, targets. We try our best to acquire the best high quality resource projects that are out there. We go through a process of exploration, discovery, and brownfields and greenfields exploration space. And ultimately, we're looking to enhance the value of these projects. So by adding value, that might be improve a resource, get it up to where it's more economically viable. If a project doesn't quite make our grade, we might introduce a partner, retain some interest where we think some of the exposure to that project, or we just simply monetize the asset and move on. And the thing about that is, exploration 101 is project turnover. And if projects don't make the grade, then we look to offload those projects. And that way we reduce our holding costs. But ultimately, we don't really want to do that. Ultimately, we want to find a very successful project that will actually deliver and create value. And by creating value, we really do try to focus on a tight share register. We are doing our best to get a share price increase. And in the cases of, say, like the Kelly Metals IPO, that was very successful, deliver a capital return or an in-species return to shareholders. And that's pretty much our way we like to operate. Now, it's one thing to talk about it, but have we actually delivered on this strategy? And I guess here's some examples here in front. The company listed in 2017. In 2018, we had some trial bulk gold mining of a small gold project called Snakewell in Western Australia. It was a very successful bulk trial mining operation, which we subsequently sold to Adam and Resources, who had the Kirkalocka mill nearby, and we sold that for $7 million in 2018. In 2023, we sold our Queen's Gold project to Novo Resources, all up through two transactions that brought in $3.5 million. More recently, with the Kelly Metals IPO, our lithium spin-out, our retained 20% interest plus in-species distribution of free shares of Kelly Metals shares to existing Kalamazoo shareholders at the listing price at the time of 25 cents, that delivered another $9.7 million in shareholder return. And following that, in February, we announced a deal with De Grey Mining as an option agreement to purchase our Ashburton gold project for a total consideration of $33 million. And so I hope that just sort of gives you a flavour that over the years we've been doing as we talked about. It's basically identifying high quality projects and enhancing value and returning that value to shareholders. So talking again about our value proposition, what makes Kalamazoo different from other junior explorers is that we have a real asset backing that supports a higher valuation. So again, we listed back in 2017. We have nearly 180 million shares on offer, which is not a lot compared to others. Our current market cap at the start of the month of July, around 7 cents, is worth about $13 million market cap. In February, De Grey paid us a non-refundable option payment of $3 million. Now, if De Grey exercise the Ashburton option agreement, which will be next year, The additional $30 million that they will pay to us in 2 tranches over 18 months, that alone equates to 17 cents per share. So just thinking about that, we're currently about 7 cents a share, but if our $30 million deal that's in the wings, that's worth alone 17 cents per share. We also have retained a 20% equity in Kelly Metals. That's worth today about $4.6 million or 37% of our current market cap. Over this time, we've generated something like $53 million of value for shareholders. So just reiterating that on exercise of the Ashburton project sale, plus our 20% equity in Kelly Metals, provides this underlying real asset backing that is well in excess of our current market capitalisation. And also note that this attributes nil value to our current high-quality gold and base metal projects that we are currently exploring. So that's the value proposition we have today. We have a successful team. It's been delivering over these years. Luke Reiner, the executive chairman, he was one of the co-founders of Kalamazoo. He's also a very significant shareholder of the company. So he has real skin in the game, as they would say. He's also currently the non-executive chairman of Kelly Metals. Paul Adams is a very experienced geologist and finance professional. He's also currently the managing director of Kelly Metals. He's a non-executive director of Mika Metals, who are going into gold mine development. Probably more famous, he was managing director of Spectrum Metals. They found the Penny North discovery, which was ultimately bought by Ramelius Resources for something like $228 million. He's also a former head of research of natural resources at DJ Carmichael for something like 12 years. Angus Middleton's our other non-executive director. He's a former stockbroker, fund manager, and specialises in equity raisings and underwriting. And of course, there's myself. I've got 30 years experience in exploration mining, various places around the world. I've held the position of exploration manager at Kalamazoo for 5 years before moving into the CEO role. Prior to that, I've held senior exploration roles with WMC and MMG, looking at a range of commodities. I was also the exploration manager for the Kelly Metals IPO process. In terms of corporate overview, I won't spend much time on this, other than to say that we have a very tight shareholding. The top 5 hold something like 45% of the company. And the directors also have significant, board are significant shareholders themselves. Now we have major gold base metal assets in Western Australia and Victoria. They're highly rated provinces in global terms. Up in the Pilbara, we have the Ashburton Gold Project, which I'll touch on in a bit more. We also have the Melan West Gold Project, which is a long strike from De Grey in their Hemi Gold Project. We're one of the largest landholders in Central Victorian goldfields, particularly our Mount Piper Gold Project. We have something like 1,500 square kilometres, as well as major projects in the Bendigo zone. More recently, we've been working up back at Snakewell, but to the north, where we believe it has great potential to find a base metal VHMS deposit similar to Golden Grove, which is nearby. A quick update on the Ashburton project. As we said, in 2020, we acquired it from Northern Star Resources for deferred consideration of payments and royalties. So there was no upfront payment on the acquisition of this project, which allowed us to put more money into the ground. In 2023, we announced that we had enhanced and improved the maiden resource estimate of the project to 16.2 million tonnes at 2.8 grams for 1.44 million ounces. And that represented a 10% increase in the grade across the resource base. It also represented a 68% increase in the high confidence indicated category ounces. And in 2024, we granted De Grey the option to acquire it for $33 million, which had included a non-refundable $3 million option fee, which they've already paid. In terms of where they're at, they have 12 months to do their development studies, with potentially an option to extend that by 6 months. But so far, they've got staff on site. They're well advanced in their metallurgical drilling program. Rigs on site as we speak. They've completed 7 out of 10 large diameter PQ size metallurgical drill holes. Something like 1,100 odd meters have been completed already. They've also completed aerial photography and mine surveys for geology and geotechnical studies. And also, just a reminder that as part of this deal, De Grey are obliged to spend plus $1 million on exploration and assessment, and to keep the tenements in good standing at this stage, they should actually easily meet that. Just looking at our Melan or West Gold project in the Pilbara, as I said, it's in the same structural shear zone of De Grey's Hemi discovery, which is 10 million ounces or greater. In the early days of the project, we covered quite a lot of the ground with ultrafine soil samples, and we identified 5 high priority targets. In 2022, we completed a short RC drill program, about 2,400 meters, before we unfortunately got rained out. Where originally we were targeting some gold anomalies in the soils. One of the holes was actually at the end of a line. It was at the end of the hole. We hit 1 meter at 10 grams, which is a very significant hit, and it's open in all directions. We went back and resampled that hole to make sure of it, and the assays came back again, repeated. So this is a real anomaly that we obviously are focused on following up. In 2024, what we've done already, we've collected something like 3,000 odd gravity stations, part of gravity surveys on 2 high priority areas. And we've completed 3D aeromagnetic modelling and 3D gravity modelling, which has identified for us several new drilling targets. Interestingly enough, what the 3D geophysical models revealed was that high-grade gold intercept has a close spatial association between the mineralisation and what we interpret to be a magnetic intrusion. Now, the Hemi-style deposits are actually hosted by intrusions as well. And so we're quite excited by this development. Like I said, there was 2 high priority areas, which is the Wattle Plain prospect that actually that high-grade hit was in. We also did another area which we call Satirist. Both of those areas we've completed the geophysical models on, and we've now got what we consider to be several high priority Hemi-style intrusion-related targets that will be the focus of further work. Moving on to Central Victorian goldfields. We're here because they are very high-grade deposits. Right? So it's very easy to have a strategy where you could target greater than 10 grams per tonne and 1 million ounces as well. In the Bendigo zone alone, historically, something like 60 million ounces have come out of the area at an average grade of 15. Now, more recent times, the Fosterville gold mine has really re-energised the Victorian gold scene. And we have at the moment in the Bendigo zone almost 500 square kilometres in project area. In the Melbourne zone, more recently, we've picked up the Mount Piper project, which is very exciting. It's situated between Sunday Creek Discovery and Costerfield Gold Antimony Mine, and has not seen any real modern exploration. We'll be given hopefully providing another announcement, an update on the Mount Piper project next month. We are waiting for some assays to come in, but we're currently focused on a particular area of the Mount Piper project. Look, we have, like I said, it's a very large tenement holding. The nearby Fosterville gold mine is something like 9 million ounces at 12 grams in resources. There's the operating Costerfield mine to the north of the Mount Piper project, as well as Sunday Creek Gold Antimony discoveries to the south, and we've got all the ground in between. Now, we've identified several high priority prospect areas. In 2024 to date, we've done several field mapping campaigns. We've also undergone a lot of surface sampling, something like nearly 2,000 soil samples and 60 odd rock chip samples have been collected in the past few months. We're waiting for some of the assays to come in, and we have to be progressing that further. But that's been the main focus for us in Victoria, and it's a very exciting area to be in. Just an example, this is an area that we call the Penel Prospect. It's a bit of a magnetic anomaly. We went out there and we're finding hydrothermal breccia veins that weren't recorded before. We collected soil samples over here as well as rock chips. Certainly in the XRF data, there are high levels of arsenic in the soils and rock chips that would indicate that there is nice, potentially gold mineralized hydrothermal sort of veins and breccias in the area. So this is ongoing work, which we hope to report on hopefully in the next ASX announcement update, maybe in September. More recently, we've also been back into the Snakewell area. We call it the Snakewell North project. Originally, the Snakewell Gold project that we originally had was discovered by CRA, I think in the 80s, whilst exploring for base metal style, Golden Grove style type deposits. Now, Golden Grove is about 130 kilometres away. It's owned by 29 Metals, and it has its current resource is something like 61 million tonnes at very high grades, polymetallic, very profitable mine. Just as I said before, we sold the Snakewell Gold project back in 2018, but we still hold the ground to the north in a proportion of this Archean Tellurine greenstone belt that we've identified as being of Golden Grove potential, or an analogue potential. So there's a lot of existing data there, which we've been working on this year, reprocessing and reviewing the historical geophysical data sets like induced polarization and aeromagnetic data. This work's ongoing, but we did put out an announcement recently where we've identified several VHMS type targets that we're currently working on as we speak. I guess I put in here some notes that we believe there is good potential here nearby. There are intersections of like 4 meters at 8% zinc and 0.5% copper, 15 meters at 1% zinc, some gold, a couple of grams gold, silver, lead, and copper. All of these things have all the hallmarks of a base metal VHMS type deposit. These intersections have never been followed up. So the ongoing work, which we're doing with the geophysical work, so far we've identified 11 geophysical targets, and we're now honing in on those targets now to eventually get to a drilling program stage with this project. We've also haven't been shy about the fact, we've been telling everyone that we're proactively seeking our next advanced project. We've got, with the spin out of our lithium assets into Kelly Metals, and the Ashburton project is now under an option agreement with De Grey. We're now looking for our next advanced project, or think of it as our next Ashburton. The things that we're looking for, our preferred commodities are gold and copper. And what we're looking for is the potential for an economic resource, or at least a small resource that we believe we can grow further. It may be as simple as even just some drill hole intercepts that indicate there is an economic resource there, unloved or distressed asset that we believe that we can add value to. So we're looking in also good mining jurisdictions, close to infrastructure, operating mines, etc. You know, that's the sort of thing we're looking for. We're not looking for any greenfield projects, but we're currently evaluating several opportunities because we've put it out there that we're in the market for an advanced project. I'm seeing many come across my desk. I'm probably getting almost a project a day come across my desk. Most of them don't make the cut, but there are a few have come along that actually look really interesting. And I believe we have the team, the skill set, experience, and also the record to repeat this success that we've had so far. So I guess from an investment highlights, just to finish up, we believe that our business strategy is delivering shareholder value. In terms of our value, we have real assets that back our fundamental value, which is unfortunately a lot more than our current market cap would have you believe. The potential for an additional $30 million to be received on exercise of the option by De Grey for the Ashburton project next year, that equates alone to 17 cents per share. And again, our share price today is 7 cents per share. So this asset backing really provides the upside potential for us, especially if we have some further exploration success. So we intend to build on our past successes We're working on our exploration programs as we speak across all of our projects, and we hope to find our next big high quality advanced project soon. So that's it for me. I guess.
Thanks, Luke. Great presentation. You've certainly covered off plenty of information there, and we will now open it up to questions. Attendees can use the Q&A box, which is at the bottom of the screen, and please send them through, and we'll get some questions through to Luke. Luke, a couple of questions have come through. The first one, just on Melan West, is there potential for this to be sold as well, or do you need to do some further work on it first?
Well, I guess when it comes to how we treat projects, I mean, if someone come into the door tomorrow and offered us a great deal, then, you know, we would consider it. At the moment, we are just exploring it ourselves. But, you know, sometimes we think more like we're commodity agnostic. If the opportunity is good, regardless of what commodity we're working in or what project we're on, we consider all options. But it's not, you know, publicly up for sale, that's for sure. And we think it has great value in itself. So we're happy to keep exploring it for the moment.
Excellent. Luke, can you just explain why gold and copper are your preferred commodities?
Gold, I mean, the gold price today is something like nearly 2,450 US an ounce, 3,700 Aussie. It's something that, you know, we think we've got a great skill set and strong in, and the long-term outlook is very bullish at the moment for gold. So that's why gold's there, and it's also what we think is one of our stronger suits. If you've been following the markets, everyone's bullish long-term on copper. All the majors are all long on copper, and again, we have some skill sets in copper as well. So that's why we think those ones are the better ones to look at. Other commodities such as lithium, we would consider, but you know, the lithium market is bottomed out at the moment, so it's not something that we're going to be rushing back into at the moment. We're quite happy with our Kelly Metals retained interest, but again, we can be a bit commodity agnostic. If the project opportunity presents itself as a great opportunity for us to do what we do and turn it into a success story, then we'll jump on it. But at the moment, we think gold and copper is the long-term bullish view, and you know, that's our preferred commodities at the moment.
So just leading into, you know, the project acquisition, is there a potential for you to actually complete a transaction in the remainder of 2024, or do you require the Ashburton deal to actually go through first before doing a separate transaction yourself?
No, we're not waiting for the deal. So if something, we are well advanced in some discussions on some projects as we speak, and yeah, we could easily do one this year. That's not holding us back.
Okay. And just at Mount Piper, you mentioned the proximity to some of the other, you know, fairly large deposits, some of the high grade deposits. Does Mount Piper have similar geological features to those deposits that are nearby?
Yes. Short answer, yes. Same geology. Some of the structures that trend from the Costerfield area actually trend directly into our project, and Sunday Creek's also to the south. And we have actual historical database from the Geological Survey of Victoria. We actually have reported occurrences of gold and antimony in our area. So yeah, the geology is the same. It's all continuous between those two areas, and it's very promising, and that's why it's our highest priority in Victoria.
So in the next 6 months, just to run through for 2024, do you have a little bit of a timeline of activities that are actually planned?
Yes. Well, we're still on the work at Mount Piper's early stage, so we're still continuing to work on that. We are looking at drilling in Victoria this year. Now, I'm not sure if the targets at Mount Piper will be ready in 6 months, but certainly we have a drill program ready to go at our Tarnagalla high-grade gold project. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up going to Tarnagalla while we work up Mount Piper. At Snakewell, we're doing some geophysical modelling as we speak. Get on the ground a bit there, but potentially we could have drill-ready status there in the next few months. So we're working on that pretty hard. Melan West, we are a little bit of a holding pattern at the moment because we are working our way through some native title heritage agreements. That is ongoing. It's all positive, but these things take time. So we're actively speaking with the native title holders, and we're working through an agreement as we speak. But unfortunately, that does take a little bit of time. So I'd love to be drilling at Melan West, but I think that we'll probably miss the field season this year while we work through that. But we can still go out there and do work on the ground and continue to work up those projects. So there's field work in Melan West. Might get to a drill status at Snakewell North and in Victoria. I would like to think that we will be drilling probably sometime in the next few months.
Excellent. Well, that's probably a great place to leave this morning's webinar, Luke. I will just hand it back to you to make a closing remark to attendees that have joined us today. Over to you for closing remarks.
Yeah, I guess more recently everyone has been pointing to our share price being in the doldrums, and it is. But we're not Robinson Crusoe here. We are no different in that regard to other junior companies, in that everyone's share price has been slowly decreasing over time, even though the gold price is at an all-time high. It's very hard to explain that. There's a lot of other factors in there, market forces, and competition for money for Bitcoin and AI and all those other things. But again, just reiterating that what sets us apart is that we have real asset backing of a valuation that's much higher than our current market cap and share price. So I guess my advice to shareholders is to take that on board and to keep the faith. And then, industry sort of people are saying that, there should be a re-rating soon. And when that happens, we're in a very good position.